You can drop boys, and they'll be okay. It's just a whole different night. Boys are destruction, girls are drama, and boys, my daughter, it's like a father-daughter relationship is different than a father-son relationship, than a mother-son relationship is, a different relationship. So it's really giving them all what they need when they need it. And sometimes it's, just an arm, a hug, arm on the shoulder, a big hug, you can do it. Sometimes it's a little swat of the bottom, come on, you guys, you gotta, do your part in this too. I can't do it all. So they're great kids, they're healthy, which is the main thing for me with my health history. And I just feel like it's such an honor and a blessing to be able to steward these young people into their lives. And my whole job is to prepare them, give them a solid perspective and a foundation to make good decisions. And then it's on them. I told my 14-year-old, my oldest biological son, on the way to school recently, he's at that age where kids are doing, goofy things, and I try to, just lay it all out. And I just said, my job, my whole job is honestly to teach you how to parent yourself. That's it. I can't be there every moment of every day to kind of guide you, control your decision making or anything else. All I can do is just lay down a good example, and hopefully you'll utilize that example when things come your way. So it's a big deal. And, I find myself, like most parents, repeating things that I was told, when I was a young person. And it's like, whoa, I'm sounding just like my dad now. Well, that's a good thing, It's a good thing.
So how do you teach them to overcome adversity? Because you've done that so well. How do you teach it to your kids when they're living in an easier world?
I think you live by example. You really try to show them. It's like when the brain tumor number 3 came in a couple years ago. I came home and my youngest son, Max, he was kind of nervous. He goes, "Is your brain tumor back?" And I went, "Yes, it is." And I just was joyful in it. And, if we can be joyful in our suffering, if we can be joyful in our in tough experiences, it allows them to understand that, I made it what it is. It didn't make me what it is, right? So, like anytime they fell down, it's like I didn't freak out. I didn't say, oh, because then they want me to tell them they're okay, right? So you fall down, you get up, you go, look, you could have gotten hurt. They may have a lump on their head the size of an egg. Like, you could have gotten hurt. So come over here. Come on, listen to me. And when it comes to my own stuff, it's like I try to set a great example. And I try not to say, don't do what I do. I don't ever do that. When I had kids, I cleaned up my act. I said, I got to be the example. I've got to be a lighthouse. I've got to be a lot of things for them. And so when, tough things happen, I try to set an example of be joyful in anything, be joyful in everything. Because you decide the identity of a struggle. You decide. And in that comes great power. And they're able to face things with a different level of capacity.
Scott, you're anticipating learning about your birth family today.
Yeah, that's going to be weird because, my mom, when she was suffering with her cancer, she basically, I just mentioned it in passing at the worst time. Like, I'm an adolescent kid, Yeah. We tend to, things come out and then we think about it. It's like, shoot, ready, aim, It's like, or shoot, aim, ready. So she said, no, your parents are who are there for you every day. Your parents are the ones that teach you, and your parents are the ones that are there for you under any circumstance. And it's not a biological transaction. It's a lifelong investment. You know what I mean?
So how are you anticipating this?
I think I'll be fascinated by it. I think it'll be enlightening. I don't anticipate it changing anything. It's almost like, in that way, it's really great information to have a richer and deeper understanding of my mom and dad, that raised me, that holds more weight to me than DNA. You know what I mean? So, I think it'll be interesting. I have a million questions about how they do that, and just the whole process of where did you find that? How did you get that? This whole Rootstech experience. It's like, it's like almost being like a forensic detective, right? It's like, where do you find these things and these stories? And just hearing about my, great grandfather almost drowning, and the fact that he just kept swimming in frigid water. It's like, yeah, okay, I get that. Now I know it wasn't biological; it was learned. Because the way my mom went through cancer was amazing. She taught me how to go through mine when I didn't even know it. I mean, she was 20 years gone when I was diagnosed with cancer, and I remembered every single thing about it. And she'd say things like, "Oh, this chemotherapy, I finally found a way to lose weight. This chemotherapy is great. It's like I've wanted to quit smoking all these years. Now I have no desire. Oh, this chemotherapy is great. My hair is such a problem. These wigs are so much easier." Right? That's who I was when I went through my cancer. It's like, don't come into my room unless you make me laugh. That's it. And my nurse treated me like an 8-year-old because I set that stage for her to do that. She knew I didn't want to be fearful or melancholy or upset. I wanted to control the experience, and so she helped me do that. And my mom, kind of allowed me to do it her way. Yeah, it's my mom. So, that's it. That's a tangible foundation. I keep going to foundation because that's what family is. It's a foundation that you build on. And so my mom gave me everything I needed to be able to survive cancer and to raise a family. Thank you.
Are there family traditions from your own childhood that you've continued now with your kids?
It's I'm a great husband, which means that I'll do whatever my wife tells me to do. There's always like when you open Christmas presents and all that stuff. For me, it's more like we have living in-laws, and this whole family tree on my wife's side, which is gigantic. Her mother was one of 13 kids. 11 of them survived. The other 2 died early in life, but 11 aunts, 10 aunts and uncles, and then do the math. I mean, it's incredible. It's huge. So the whole genealogy thing on their side is almost like you need Big Blue or Watson to be able to figure that one out. But it's every time we turn around in Tennessee, we meet somebody that's either a distant relative or something else, and it's just shocking in a way. But it's also really beautiful that no matter where we turn, it's like we met this country singer named T.G. Shepherd, right? Famous guy, lived at Graceland for 7 years, looking after Elvis, right? Lived there, right? T.G. Shepherd created this 21 #1 hits in country music. And so we mentioned to my aunt-in-law that we met T.G., and she goes, "Oh, his original name is Bill Browder. We're related to him directly."
Cousin TJ.
It was like, what? And I go, "Is your name Browder?" He goes, "Yeah, it is." And I go, "Are you from this county?" "Yeah, I am." I go, "We're related." He's like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, we are." So it's just like that. I mean, it's never ending how you constantly meet people you're related to. So when my family is relatively small, like my mother's sister is still living, and I have 2 cousins, and I have a brother and a sister, and their kids, so it's, there's that. But I didn't come, my dad was an only child, and my mom had 1 sister, so it was relatively small moving forward. So it's great to have a big family to kind of lean on.
Hey, 5 minutes, everyone.
Your 2 children are from Haiti.
Yes.
And your wife has gone to Haiti several times.
Several.
What do your 2 children remember about Haiti, and what are they learning?
I think in many respects it wasn't something they enjoy remembering, but every now and then I'll catch them off guard. My son, 16 now, Jean-Paul, he likes going to one of those Japanese steakhouse places where they cook everything in front of you and they go crazy and they flip things and they do the knives. So I took them one night, just him and Eveline, my daughter, and I was sitting between them, and we're just I just casually, was just saying, so I go, "Isn't this fun?" And they go, "Yeah." I go, "So was your dad like a funny guy?" And they go, "Oh, he was very funny." And they were just like, I caught them a little off guard, because normally they'd say, "I don't remember," or "I don't know." But they were in a situation where they were really happy to talk about it, and just how hard he worked, and how he was very funny and very charming, and how he wasn't very big. They said he wasn't very tall, but he was very strong, and he was very funny, and he loved us very much. And that's enough. That's enough for me. And I'm hoping that in years that something will jog a memory, and they'll say, "Oh, one time when I was really little, I remembered this." And the older they get, it's not a pain point anymore. It's something that's obviously that they remember because it had value to them. So it's like my daughter. She's Haitian, spoke 10 words of English when she came home, and we were sitting at the breakfast table the other day. I wasn't the other day, it was recently. And I go, "How do you say that word in Creole?" And she looked at me, she goes, "I don't know." All right, I guess we made a transition here. So in many respects, they have accents, but they're purely American kids, living with other kids and other families that look just exactly like ours. I think with Stephen Curtis Chapman and what he's built with Show Hope and the adoption assistance, there's so many families in Middle Tennessee that look exactly like ours. I was at a thing the other night, and I saw a friend who I met because I had my youngest, Max, the redhead, and I had him with me. I was going to get something to eat, and he goes, "I'm not hungry and I'm bored. I want to go home and play." And I go, "I'm hungry. I want to eat right now." And we ran across this gentleman, and he had, 2 young African children. And I go, "Now, where did they start their adventure?" And he said, "Well, they're from Haiti." And I have he introduced himself. He goes, "I have an orphanage there, and I spent a lot of time there." And so his 2 kids and my son, they instantly started running and playing and racing each other and all that. And that's kind of, for me, what it's all about is kids are kids. We always go through these classifications and descriptions and identities of, this is who I am, and and that's great, and that's more power to people. But at the end of the day, we're human beings, and we all want to be loved, validated. We all want to be accepted, enjoyed. We all want to be close with other people, and in that way, we're all the same. We may look different. We may have different backgrounds. We may have, whatever our sensitivities are, or our faith backgrounds, whatever that is, that, kind of give us a unique identity. At the same time, when we get, just to the core of it, we're people who all want the same things. And that's why I love the Olympic movement so much. It's because we all come together, everybody leaves their stuff that separates them at home, and we celebrate everything that we have in common. And I think that's beautiful. And that's what my kids do every day. They're brothers and sisters. They love each other, they fight like cats and dogs, and they're on each other's nerves, and they do what all brothers and sisters do.
All right.
But there's love.
Time for a picture. Let's do
Thank
half
you.
of you with Scott.